Good morning, class. My name is Ms. Ramirez, and today's lesson is going to be multiplication repeated with an addition method. If you could please get your notebooks out, we will be going over some vocabulary terms that you will be using for this lesson. The first term is the X. The X is a symbol that indicates multiplication. So whenever you see that X or the little asterisk like this, it will mean multiplication. Multiplication means that you will have a certain number of groups of the same size. The pound sign here is the number sign. That's what that pound sign means. Okay, so now we will be going over some steps for this lesson. So the first step, we will be identifying how many groups you have. The next step is identifying how many items or numbers that you have in each group. Your next step is to draw the number of groups with the correct number of items in each. The next step is the sum of the groups is the product, which is your answer, of the initial multiplication problem. We're going to go over a few examples, and when we're done, I'll give you a worksheet with some examples on there to work out, and I will be going around and checking them for you. Our first problem. Our first problem is, here we have a group. We have 5 groups, and each group has 2 flowers. So we know right now we have 5 groups, and we also know that each group has 2 flowers in it. So we can draw 5 little squares. So there are your 5 squares. Now we know that there's 5 groups. So there's 5 boxes, and each group has 2 flowers. So we can put 2 flowers in each group. Okay, so how many groups do we have? 5, correct. So we have 5 groups. How many do we have in each group? 2 flowers in each group, correct. So we know that we have 5 times 2, because the X symbol is multiplication. We can also solve it by adding to get your answer as well. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So we can add up all these 2's to get our answer of 5 times 2. So we know that we have 5 groups with 2 flowers in each group, or we could do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. So our answer would be 10. Our next question is, here we have 5 groups, and each group has 4 circles. I'm sorry, here we have 3 groups. So we have 3 groups, and each group has 4 circles. So let's draw 3 boxes. So those would be our groups. Next, we know that each group has 4 circles in it. So let's draw 4 circles. Okay, so how many groups do we have? 3, correct. How many are in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, correct. So we have to get 3 times 4. We can also solve it by adding. So we would do 4 plus 4 plus 4. So we know that 3 times 4 equals to 12. We can also add all 4 circles in each group to get our answer. So we know that 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. Here's another problem. This one, we will be filling in the missing parts. So how many groups do we have here, class? 3, correct. How many carrots are in each group? 1, correct. So we know that our problem would be 3 times 1. And we can also figure this out by adding. So we would do 1 plus 1 plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So we know that we have 3 carrots in total. So our answer would be 3. Also, we could add them up. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? Good question. So, let's go back to this one. So the question was, what if it was reversed? So if it was reversed, you would still get the same answer, but you would be doing 4 groups with 3 circles in it. So if the problem was reversed, 4 times 3, it would still be the same, but this time you would have 4 groups and 3 circles in it. Okay? Now we will work on some practice problems. So you can get together into groups and you would have about 15 minutes while I walk around and check on your work. Okay, class. So do we have any more questions for today, on today's lesson? Good. So today we learned how to do multiplication repeated with addition method. Thank you, class.